All right, well, hello and welcome to another episode of Douglasville Impact, our community podcast. I am Jason Post with the City of Douglasville, and we've got a great show coming at you today. We've got a fun special guest. Mr. Gil Shearouse is joining us from the WSA. Hey, Gil.
Thanks for joining us.
And joining us once again is also Mr. Aaron Szarowicz.
Hey, everybody.
And Ms. Hayley Chapman.
Hello.
Wherever you guys are. I keep pointing, and I know it's probably not the right direction. So thank you all for joining us and bringing all the cool information we got going on today. So it's another fun week in the city of Douglasville. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what all we've got going on. Mr. Aaron, let's start with you.
All right. I just have a couple parks updates or reminders, rather. So the first is don't forget about the Pedal Pushers bike rental that they have at Hunter Park. That is going on all the time. So if you're looking to get out on the weekend, I know school started, but so if you're looking out to get out on the weekend with the family, Hunter Park is your place. For 2 bikes and 30 minutes, it's $10 for the bike rental. Or for 1 bike, if you're riding solo, it's $6 for 30 minutes, $12 for 60 minutes for 1 bike, and then for 2 bikes, it's $20. So you can show up at Hunter Park and at Ike Owings and just ask for bike rentals, and then they'll give you the map of the route, and you can, go ride your bike outside if the weather's permitting. So it has been very nice recently.
It's been nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's been super nice. This weekend was awesome. So that's good weekend activity for the whole family. And then also a reminder about the pickleball leagues that started back in late June. So those take place at the Alice J. Hawthorne Center at Jesse Davis Park. And their new renovated gym is beautiful, so they wanted to make use of that space. You can play socially distanced, and it's non-contact. So I think pickleball is like, I don't know, it's like you're standing on a ping pong table, a live ping pong table, and basically playing ping pong, right, with a partner.
Well, that sounds dangerous.
You're on a gym floor. You're not on an actual ping pong table per se, but so it's just a bigger expanded version of that. So the league plays on Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you're interested in that, contact Alice J. Hawthorne Center at Jesse Davis Park, and you can play.
Awesome. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going on over at our parks. They're coming up with new programs and activities all the time to kind of help people still get out and stay healthy and stay fit, and still stay safe. So that's what last week we talked about the park scavenger hunt, which is a great option to get out and explore our parks and be out in nature and the beautiful weather. And yeah, you can go out, you can ride your bikes, you can go play some pickleball. Definitely some options to get out and have some fun and stay healthy and stay safe. You don't have to, we got opportunities to get out and do some stuff without having to stay home and still, not being around too many crowds of people. So they're doing a great job over at the Parks Department to make sure that there's still some activities to do and stuff. So
definitely.
Awesome. So thanks. That's all. So that's all of our news from Mr. Aaron. Right?
That's right.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll move on to the fun train with Miss Hayley. You're our Chief Happiness Officer this week. Is
Very happy.
That what we're going with? What kind of fun stuff we got going on?
Well, just wanted to remind everybody that the farmers market is still going on. We have, I believe, 3 weeks left now. So just want to make sure everyone gets out there and attends before we end for the season. It's every Tuesday in downtown Douglasville from 3 to 7 in the old police precinct parking lot. I was out there last night, actually, with the city, and it was really wonderful to see everybody and see all the, everything that they had to offer. Last night they had apples, and they were going very fast, so make sure you get there early next time because it was a sight to behold.
Yeah, they've been going really well. I think they've had a pretty good turnout and lots of vendors and stuff.
Yeah.
And again, it's a good opportunity to get out of your house go and see some other people, get some fresh fruit and some locally grown, produce and stuff like that. So yeah, it's great that they're able to kind of figure out a way to still do it and still have social distancing stuff in place and hand
Exactly.
sanitizer stations set up. So it's once again a good opportunity to get out of your house, get some fresh air, get some healthy stuff going on and stuff, and still stay safe. So cool. That's awesome. Anything else fun going on around town?
One last thing, upcoming, we have the virtual reunion workshop. It's hosted by the Douglasville Convention and Visitors Bureau. It is on Saturday, September 19th from 10 to 12 via Zoom. It's an opportunity for people to speak to industry professionals for attractions, hotels, more. You can register at visitdouglasville.com. And if you pre-register, you get a free information package. So very exciting.
Yeah, I think we've had Samantha Rosado on in the past talking about past family reunion workshops that she's done. So the Welcome Center, they do assist with a lot of those kind of family reunions that happen in and around town. They help to put together a little welcome bag sometimes, and they help to coordinate, activities and things like that. So there's a lot of fun stuff. And here in the city, we've got a lot of different areas that we've got the rooms over at the conference center that you can rent for things like that. We've got spaces over at the parks that you can rent for your family reunions and pavilions and things like that. So there's plenty of spaces to kind of gather, but they help you coordinate all the activities and stuff that you do around town as well, and really help you to with all the questions and stuff you might have about organizing one of those big family reunions. And right now, staying safe, and because those
Definitely.
big family gatherings are one of the hot spots. So they want to make sure that they're helping to make sure people can gather and see their family, but still stay safe and do it right and do it so that we're not, getting anybody hurt. So definitely check that out. So it's going to be virtual this time. So it is,
Correct.
again, COVID compliant. So it's a virtual family reunion workshop. So fun stuff. All right, cool. Well, thank you, Hayley, for the fun stuff. And so that will bring us to our fourth chair this week, our special guest, Mr. Gil Shearouse from the Douglas County Water Sewer Authority. And you're going to tell us all about the fun, awesome things happening in the world of water, right? So what's been going on over there? How you guys been doing?
Lots going on. So I wasn't planning on talking about this, but hearing some of the city's updates, I'll put a brief plug in for our Dog River recreational area. So another great way to get outdoors and engage with the environment and some of the city residents and businesses assets. We do have a reservoir. It's open to the public. So if you're a city resident or a business owner, feel free to stop by anytime. You can find information about our recreational area on our website, ddcwsa.com. So another good way to get outdoors and COVID compliant exercise. If you like boating or fishing, those are great things to do out there.
Picked up on our theme.
I did pick up on it. Well, I might contribute a little bit to that.
Have fun, stay safe.
That's right. So yeah, we can talk about a number of things today. I thought what I might start with, and again, since you were kind of talking about COVID compliant things, I'll mention a few things relative to COVID response. As your water provider for the city of Douglasville, we provide water and wastewater, stormwater services for all of the city residences and businesses, also Douglas County as well. And as a critical infrastructure, we got to stay operating 24/7. So COVID really impacted us greatly and pretty early on. So we were planning probably as early as January for what might happen as we were watching things. And then by mid-March, it hit pretty hard in the United States and in Georgia. So we amended our operations. The main thing for us was business continuity. And that's a term we use a lot in our industry because we have to have continuous operations. So we did a number of things. Probably most notably for city residences and businesses was to keep operations going. We split our staff into two teams, basically. And I didn't name the teams because I didn't want one team thinking they were better than the other. So we just had two teams. We essentially worked every other day at our respective facilities. So, whereas we might have two operators per shift, normally we split those into less people, get them spaced out for one thing. But mainly, if we were very concerned if we did have an outbreak in our organization, we couldn't have the whole water operations department could not go out sick. So we mainly split them up so that if one team had an infection, had an outbreak, we had another team to back them up. So basically, we operated every other day for a couple of months, and when folks were not on their in-person shift, if they could work from home, which a number of folks could do some work from home, we certainly did that. Otherwise, they were on call, so they pulled call, and if we needed to call them up, they were willing and able to come in and pull call. And we did have to call folks in a number of times. We also shifted kind of how we distributed work. So if you can imagine, we almost half of our almost 200 employees are in our maintenance division, and we're used to bringing all 80, 85 people together in the morning, distributing out work and meeting with superintendents, and very, very in-person heavy kind of operation. So we immediately shifted to people come in, people came in, went straight to their crew truck, and we assigned work remotely as we could. For those who didn't have the technology, we couldn't deploy that, day of. We've since deployed a good bit of technology, but superintendents would go out to the truck, distribute work orders and get them going. So we did that at a number of our crews that did have technology already enabled. We sent them straight from home to the work site. So we were leveraging our GPS technology. So they basically clocked in at the workshop at the work site, saw it on GPS, so we could validate some of those things. Just really just did things a lot differently than what we normally would do. Since then, we've kind of come back to what I'll call normal operations for the near term. I don't know how long this is going to last. We're all back every day, but still operating in kind of that hybrid mode where people report straight to their work truck or report straight to their work site. We've rearranged staffing so that people are spaced out and doing masks and all the things that we need to do. So work certainly looks a little bit differently, but all that was so that our residences and businesses had the essential water, wastewater, stormwater services that they have to have. That's a non-negotiable in our business to continue operating and continue providing those services. And I think a lot of times people perhaps take for granted the water system, and I don't say that to puff ourselves up, but folks turn on their faucet and don't think about all the 200 employees just in Douglas County that are working behind the scenes to make that happen. And they certainly don't like to think about when they flush their toilet, what's happening after that. And we're taking care of that as well, and making sure the roads are safe when it rains, and stormwater conveyances, all that. The other part I wanted to mention about COVID was the PPE part of things. So personal protective equipment, that got a lot of press on the healthcare side of things, and rightfully so, but that was a big issue for us in our industry as well. So we were very grateful. We teamed up really early on in the pandemic with our partners, both utility partners in the state. We have a great network that we already have. It's called Georgia Warn. It's a network of utilities that group together. We have sharing agreements so we can share equipment in times of need. We basically brought that system back live. We work with GEMA, the Georgia Emergency Management Agency, who basically is our liaison with FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, and we were able to secure a good bit of PPE through those resources early on to make sure that our people were safe, not just in dealing with the products that we deal with. As you can imagine, especially on the wastewater side of things, COVID exists in that. People don't like to think about it, but it does. So keeping our employees safe from infection there was important, but also keeping our employees safe from each other. So, face masks, right? Everybody's talking about face masks. We got a large shipment of cloth face masks really early in the program, and very grateful for those partnerships with FEMA, GEMA, Georgia Warn, and all of that. So that was a great thing. And then probably the other main thing that we did as part of COVID was just educate. And we had to just change our mindset. We had to educate and inform our employees on what safe practices looked like. So a lot of information coming out of CDC, coming from Cobb Douglas Public Health, Georgia Public Health, and we took that information. Also, the governor's orders. There was changes almost weekly, if not more frequently, coming from governor's office, the feds, state agencies, local agencies. So we felt it important to kind of parse that information out to our employees. So what we ended up doing was created a weekly email that I sent out every Thursday afternoon, went out to every one of our employees to help understand what's going on. Because, a lot of people aren't going to read a 45-page executive order from the governor and really kind of digest what does that mean for me as a citizen of Douglas County, right? But also what's that mean for our work group. And so a lot of information sharing on, safe practices, what you need to do as an employee. And I got to say, guys, our employees did an amazing job. So we asked them to really step up, not just at work. These are dedicated folks. They are serving the city residents' businesses every day, 24/7. But they really stepped up in their personal life too, because we asked them to be wise in their personal actions too. So when the governor was saying don't gather in more than 10, we echoed that, and we really pushed, don't get into gatherings, don't go places that are going to put yourself in a position of risk where you might contaminate your coworkers, your family, your friends, all of that. And I really applaud our 200 employees for the work they did, not just in the dedication of their employment, but also in stepping up. We asked them not to come to work if you're feeling sick, if you have symptoms, and they did. And we have had a number of positive COVID tests through our organization, but employees did what they were supposed to do by taking care of themselves, staying home. So fortunately, at least to date, we've not had any significant issues in our organization, even though we have had a number of test positives, and very pleased to report that all of our employees fared well through the process, and all are back to work, and no long-term effects that we know of. So just really proud of the work that our employees did through this time, showing dedication, not just in the workplace, but in their personal lives as well, because it really does affect. I mean, you guys know it, right? People watching us know it doesn't just affect your employment, affects your daily life, and so it's really, really encouraged by that. And I'll just round out this point with this last comment. I'd like to say, and I hope our customers saw this through this. I don't feel like we missed a beat. We might not have been able to respond as quickly or provide every service that we would normally provide, but our employees really stepped up, and we were able to keep the water flowing, as we like to say, and really didn't miss a beat. We're still kind of in a midterm kind of operation, still don't do everything exactly like we used to, but still providing all the services that our community has come to know and trust from the Water and Sewer Authority.
That's awesome. And then you can't really, it does. Yeah. Yeah, we've talked a lot about, the local businesses, the local restaurants, the local retailers, and how they've kind of completely revamped their workflow and how they operate in order to continue to open and offer these services to the community. But organizations like yours, like you said, the water gets overlooked a lot of times. It's not something people think about. It's one of those things where you don't really want to be noticed, because that you're doing your job. When people aren't thinking about it, they just turn on the faucet and it flows. You don't really get noticed until somebody turns on that faucet and it doesn't come out. That's when they start looking for you, right? So it's important. It is important to talk to you guys and say, hey, look at the awesome job you are, because we haven't had a situation like that where COVID has actually disrupted service. So and you guys have been kind of top of the line, award-winning kind of water delivery since for the last 15, 20 years, however long I've been around here. So it's just a continuation of the high quality service and level that you guys have always done, and you just stepped up to another level to make sure that continues to flow and operate. So we do appreciate you. The community does appreciate you, even though like I said, you may not hear it a lot, because like I said, we're the same way. Sometimes we're working in the background, and we're kind of hoping not to be noticed, because that means we're doing our job right, and people aren't thinking about us. They're just kind of living their lives because of what you guys are doing in the background. So definitely thank you to you. Thank you to all of your staff for stepping up and putting every anybody else's needs as a priority. And like you said, that's kind of the same kind of message we've been trying to push out here with our recent Take Care campaign we talked about last week is, it's not really about us. It's thinking about how what we do impacts other people. So yeah, when we're going home and interacting with crowds and stuff and not gathering in those large groups, that interacts the people around us. And, just taking that small kindness and consideration to, wear the masks when you can and practice the social distancing, because it doesn't just impact you, it impacts the people you work with and the people that they work with, and it's kind of exponential. And you get somebody come in and it affects a whole crew or a whole team, and that's when we start having problems. So you guys have done an amazing job if you've been able to continue that work nonstop without any kind of real interruption of service. So
well, thank you for those. And we don't do it for the accolades. Our folks, they're in this business because they love to serve. They enjoy the environment. Yeah. That's why we're in it. So thank you for the kind words.
But it's nice to hear occasionally.
So yeah, we definitely appreciate all the hard work that you guys are doing in the background and stuff. So thank you a lot. So obviously you guys have revamped a lot of your services. Is there anything that you found in what we found in a lot of the people we talked to is they've had a need to change a lot of their operations to deal with COVID-19, but they've a lot of people we talked to has realized that they've found out of necessity better ways to do some things. So have you guys stumbled upon any things that you like the way you're operating a little better than normal that you might kind of hang on to once we get past any of this?
So I think to me the few things I'll mention there just briefly. First is how we interact with our customers. So, customer service is huge, and never shut down customer service. Our folks did great. You can imagine we still fielded a lot of phone calls. We get like 7,000 calls a month, guys. And most people don't realize how many times we engage with our customers per month, and that slowed down a little bit during the height of the pandemic, but it's certainly picked back up now. As in our customer service reps, I mean, we essentially have a call center. I'm going to point back there because to me that's where our call center is. If you didn't know, we have a call center at our admin building here on Hospital Drive, and they're the ones that are fielding those calls. So we get a lot of phone calls. We also get a lot of foot traffic comes in through our lobby. So as part of the COVID issue, we shut down our lobby to keep our customers safe primarily. I mean, our lobby set up where we have bulletproof glass, and our employees are relatively protected from the customers, but we did that mainly to protect customers a little bit for our employees. So we've opened back up the customer service lobby as of, I believe, mid-June, something like that. So almost 2 months, and we've seen a change in pattern already there. We used to get I forget the exact number, several thousand customers come in through the lobby each month, which is a lot. And we've certainly seen that number drop over the last couple months. We've had online platforms for years. We revamped them probably 3 or 4 years ago, really tried to make a push on our end to improve the technology, and with mobile apps and all of that. And we saw an uptick in consumer usage at that point, and it's kind of been steadily growing. But with the pandemic, we just saw that skyrocket. So I'm encouraged by that, because it really is an efficient way for customers to especially pay their bill, to see their bill a little bit more timely, get more notifications. So customers that sign up for our electronic services, if they miss a payment, they'll get notified about that. And I like to use this example. If you are subject to lock off, which means you've gone 2 months without payment, I believe it's 7 notifications you will have received before we roll a truck to physically lock you off. Otherwise, you get like 2 notices on the 2 bills that you've missed. So there's just a lot more customer interaction electronically. We've seen that increase a lot. We kept our drive-through open during the whole time, so we never shut down our drive-through, so that customers could continue to engage with the Water and Sewer Authority. We wanted to make sure that if people needed us, they had an avenue to engage with us. We kept our drive-through open. The line got long a few times during the outbreak, but was pleased to see customers continue to use that. And we also changed how we did development services. As the city knows, we're part of the development service group, so we review plans for erosion sedimentation control, stormwater requirements, and then water and sewer. So we changed how we do that. So we no longer did developers come in and meet with us and bring the big rolls of plans and do all that kind of things. We set up a little area in our atrium where we could do it, kind of a non-contact type thing, a lot more electronic reviews and dialogue that way, virtual meetings. We are pros like you guys are at Zoom and Teams and Cisco and all the WebEx, all of those. We've gotten adept at all of those, and I think that's one of the other things that we'll see from a business standpoint that will persist is the ability to do these kind of things. Whereas otherwise 6 months ago you guys would have had me come down to City Hall, have this as a round table. This is an effective way to do things. It's not ideal for everything, but I participate in a lot of groups that I would normally drive to Macon or drive to Atlanta or drive to Dalton. And, a lot of travel has been involved in meetings for years and years. And we are seeing, at least in our industry, a lot more engagement with more partners because it's easier to participate via some of these methods. And I think that will persist. I'm looking forward to getting to see some of my counterparts in person, hopefully soon in person, because you can just talk through more things. I think you get a better spirit of collaboration that way, but certainly very effective to do meetings this way and engage a little bit more virtually. We see more engagement through those platforms. I think those are the things I'd really say we've tweaked. Otherwise, one more thing on our side, so not engaging with the public, but just business efficiency. We were already moving. We were about halfway through a big transition on our end on how we manage our work order system. We were using a pretty old system. It was paper-based primarily. I'd say for us it was about 90% paper-based. We were already transitioning on that, had a big project to do that. We're literally wrapping it up right now. That will enable us to continue to migrate more and more to electronic work order delivery, routing, those kind of things. So, developing those things a little bit more and more.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, so it's good to see that some good things will, when we get past all this, we can look back and say, hey, there's some good things that came out of it and some better operation procedures and stuff. So one of the other things I know we talked about before the show that we might want to touch on, you mentioned Dog River earlier. So you've got some renovations coming to the reservoir, right? Some things you guys are going to be doing out there?
Yeah, so we've got a real big program that we've been working on for a number of years. As you can imagine, we're always planning. So one of the things that the Water Authority does is plan very far out in the future, because as Douglasville continues to grow, as Douglas County continues to grow, water and sewer services are very important. We have to be able to provide those services as it continues to grow. So we're always looking out at what the needs are in the future. We actually do a 50-year, that's 50-year water supply planning horizon, or we do it on a 50-year planning horizon. And as we updated our water system master plan about 4 or 5 years ago, we knew it, but that kind of helped solidify our need for additional water supply. So since then, we put a lot of meat on that bone and developed a water supply program to increase that supply that's needed to meet our demands. We're looking at 2066 demands, and if you're interested, Douglas County, so this would include Douglasville, but also the larger Douglas County. The projections are to almost double population over that 50-year planning horizon. So we have to be prepared to provide the water and sewer services. All in all, everything's in really good shape. Water supply needs to have some increases for that. So long story short, looked at all the options and come to the conclusion that expanding the current reservoir, our Dog River Reservoir, is the right project to do. So we started a few years ago in earnest on the engineering studies, the detailed evaluations, and all. I mean, it just takes a lot of work to develop those resources. We've worked with our partners with the federal levels. We have about 8 federal partners that we have to engage with, whether it's Fish and Wildlife, EPA, National Historic Preservation. All those groups get engaged when we deal with reservoir projects, because somehow it touches all those entities. The main one is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. They are the primary permitter of reservoirs. So we've been working with them for a couple of years on getting the permit to expand our Dog River Reservoir, and we're this close. Literally, we think we're within weeks of having that that
Oh,
permit.
awesome.
And so we've done all the work to get there. Hopefully we'll have that in the near future. That is about $145 million project for us. And it's really a series of projects you can imagine. You're raising the reservoir by 35 feet. That's a lot. We will triple its capacity. It will involve a number of projects like relocating and raising Highway 166, moving, building new intakes and all those kind of things. We're really close on that. We've already gone to our financial partners and gotten updated ratings from Moody's and Standards and Poor, and our residences and businesses should be happy to know we were able to upgrade our rating, and we have investment grade ratings. So when we go to the bond market to borrow funds for that project, we are in tip-top shape to get the best ratings possible, or the best interest rates possible. So hopefully we'll be doing that in the next few weeks. We get the permit, we're going to go to the bond market, sell some bonds to do the first series of projects for that program, and then we'll be off and running. So look forward to more information coming out on that soon as we get permit, and then as we go through funding, we'll start those projects in earnest. So please do come enjoy the reservoir. Now it'll be open for the next couple of years. We'll have to close it once we start construction out there. It'll probably be closed for a few years as we do clearing and a lot of work at the rec area and things like that. So do come engage with it soon. Probably have a year or so before we have to close it down for a few years, and then you'll come back out and it'll be a whole new reservoir and a whole new experience. So that's the biggest project we have going on right now. As a matter of fact, that's the biggest project we will have ever accomplished when it's done. $145 million is that's really
huge.
big.
Yeah.
Big project. We've been working for years to get everything in order for it. We're ready. So just get that permit and we'll be off and running.
Well, that's awesome. So, we talk about future planning. You guys are like seriously future planning. You guys look like 50 years in advance, right? Okay,
That's a
awesome.
lot of what we do. And 50 years on water supply, on plants, wastewater plants. We're 20 to 30 years out on plants, and then the main lines, big distribution lines, tanks. You guys see the big tanks up in the air. Those are 10-year horizon type projects that we look at. So a lot of planning goes into our organization.
That's awesome. And so every week or so that we do a show, we talk a lot about the census right now. So you guys are probably heavily impacted by the numbers that come in from the census as well, right? Because that's
absolutely, yeah. So the census is a big deal because we know for certain what happens every 10 years, and then in between those 10-year marks, we're just estimating. So they're educated guesses, but that's all they are at that point. Now we lean heavily on the Atlanta Regional Commission and Georgia Office of Planning and Budgeting, but even those experts in the field, they're guessing at what's going on between the censuses. So very, very important we get those numbers right. For us, it's mainly planning. We don't get funding from any of those sources like the cities and counties do, but it impacts so many people, so many organizations to get that count correct.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been talking about, Aaron's been kind of heading up our census task force here at the city. So he's been talking about it a lot. So we wouldn't want a show to go by without mentioning, hey, go fill out your census, take a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Stealing my thunder.
So I'll just put a plug in. I have submitted our census for my family. We live in Douglas County. And guys, it's super easy. We got our little form. I don't remember when it was, like February, March. So it's been months ago. It didn't take 10 minutes to fill that thing out and get it submitted. It was all online, super simple. I mean, it took no time at all. Very user friendly. So whoever put all that together did a great job.
If you're taking 10 minutes to complete it, you're really thinking about each question.
Reading each question like 4 or 5 times.
And reading thoroughly every single question.
I'm a thorough kind of guy.
It was super fast, super easy. Yeah, you go online and you get it done. What's the website, Aaron? You just go online?
Census.gov. That's it.
It's pretty straightforward.
Even the web address is short.
Census.gov. So that's awesome. So well, thank you for letting us know all that's going on in the next 50 years here with our water and stuff. So anything else before we wrap up that you wanted to share with the community?
There's lots going on. If anybody wants to know more of what's going on, we have lots of information on our website, ddcwsa.com. Actually give a monthly status report to our board of directors, and we post that each month. You can get information there, or just email us, askWSA@ddcwsa.com. Happy to let anybody know what's going on. Just 20 minutes isn't enough to tell you everything that's going on in our organization. So, citizens, businesses, let us know if you have any questions or want to know anything else that we're doing and working on.
Awesome. And then again, thank you again to you and all your team and your crews, and for all that you guys are doing to keep everything flowing. So
glad
thanks.
to love serving our community.
Absolutely. So thanks for joining us again, Gil Shearouse, WSA. Thank you to our local team here, Aaron Szarowicz and Ms. Hayley Chapman, for joining us here in our virtual studio. And thank you all for tuning in and watching and listening. Go ahead and visit us online at douglasvillega.gov. Find out everything else that's going on in the meantime before our next episode. Until then, we'll see you out in the community. Thanks for joining us on Douglasville Impact. Bye.